3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Haha, well. You know what? Oh, I hope this helps. I normally keep this much lower than that. Yeah. Wow, I didn't think about that because I reset OBS. Okay, let me try clapping again, see how that works. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Alright, that's so much better. Whoopsie, sorry about that huge audio spike there. I still readjusting everything to be back to normal. Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Star Wars The Bad Batch. The ever-increasing guessing game of when on earth I'm going to get these videos out. Every time I think I've got it down, something comes along and delays a video. But that's okay. I mean, considering, sometimes for like The Mandalorian, I'm like months late on that. Honestly, only being a few days late ain't that bad for The Bad Batch, so yeah. Last time on The Bad Batch, we had Cut and Run, where The Bad Batch went to meet up with Cut, the clone deserter from the Clone Wars series, and wanted to know how can we lay low. And it was going to be very hard. They had to, Cut and the family were going to go to a different world, but to do that, they needed Imperial chain codes, so the Bad Batch helped them out with that. Hunter thought that it would be best for Omega to go with Cut and the family because she would have a proper life and a real family and not just, a band of hoodlums. But she decided that she wanted to stay with the band of hoodlums. So yeah. And that was pretty much that. It was a really great episode, all in all. Nothing from Crosshair last episode. So I'll be curious to see if we're going to get any in this episode, any of him. But yeah, next we are moving on to somewhere else, I guess. I'm guessing that this series is just the Bad Batch starting to lay low, or trying to lay low. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So let's go ahead and get into this episode of The Bad Batch. Here we go. Ooh, ship has seen better days, huh?
Well, that doesn't look comfortable. For either of you.
We're fine.
We're fine, Dad.
Omega doesn't even have a place to sleep. You want to take her food, too?
Yes.
No thanks. You keep it.
Okay.
No. Doesn't bother her.
Echo, lights cut out again. Thought you fixed it. Yeah, add it to the list. The ship got hit hard when we fled Seleucami. Several systems have been glitched.
Oh, so Echo's also the engineer.
Repairs would go
as well
fast
as just the droid.
if I had some help.
As soon as I finish building the scanner, testing the functionality of our inhibitor chips takes precedence.
They're definitely making sure we know what Echo does on the
Through
team.
this device, we'll be able to prove. Besides, the ship-wide diagnostic report indicated no critical systems were compromised.
Are you sure? Okay, you just fell out of hyperspace.
Get ready for your first crash landing.
Oh boy.
Omega, strap in.
Did the thing not come over Wrecker? He's too big.
Anything. We're gonna die, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
Good job, Wrecker.
Everybody alright?
I feel like he helps the droid up.
Is it over?
Yes.
What?
How did you know that?
It's Crosshair's weapon kit.
Oh. No.
Fine. I'll say it. I kinda miss him. He shot you, remember? Ha! I sure do. That hurt.
I mean, it's not necessarily his fault.
Crosshair's actions were influenced by his inhibitor chip.
Yeah.
It can do that?
That's what it was designed to do.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't Crosshair's fault.
No. It's not a full betrayal. You could save him. If you needed to do that. Alright, here's Crosshair.
Right on schedule, Rampart. I hear your chain code implementation has been most successful. Laying the foundation of our new empire is of the utmost importance.
Who is this guy? Why does he seem so important?
What is the status of Project War-Mantle?
On schedule, sir. Our top recruits are here to begin their training. Under their new commander.
Crosshair? Wait, he's gonna teach them?
Top soldiers from across the galaxy.
The first
Imagine
stormtroopers.
more squads like this being trained by skilled clones.
Huh.
Together, they would make a formidable army.
A partnership such as this could have promise.
I believe it will strengthen the future of this burgeoning empire.
Interesting. So the stormtroopers are taught by Crosshair. That's hilarious, because how?
That should do it. Tech. Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Ah, well, those weren't there when we landed.
Nope. How did you guys not hear that? No, don't steal the thing. Ah, they stole the thing.
Something's causing damage to the exterior hull. You want to narrow that down?
A creature. Oh, get away from the window, girl. No!
I'll go after the dragon and get our pod back. I'm fine. You're staying.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
No, you're
That
not.
could be dangerous.
I'm part of this squad now too, right?
Then help them.
All right, kid. Just stay close.
This is a bad idea.
Our clones have been trained since their creation.
Skills can be taught. The loyalty of those who willingly enlist is what I see tremendous value in.
I mean, it's...
A tangible test is in order. We need to see them in action.
By all means.
I'm very curious
Send
about
any
how
more
this is
recruits
gonna
to
work.
Onderon. I want Saw Gerrera's camp found and wiped out. Let's see if they can succeed where Clone Force 99 failed.
I mean, if you can find loyal people who are ruthless, I guess that's the difference between, well, a thinking clone and a stormtrooper.
What are you doing?
Tracking.
It's what he does. I don't think you're cut out for that.
Could I learn to track like you?
Well, it's an enhanced skill. Wrecker and Tech, we each have one.
And Crosshair.
Yeah. And Crosshair.
You should.
I'm angry at myself. We don't leave our own behind.
Then we'll find a way to get him back. Somehow.
Yeah. Optimism.
Why would they put him in charge?
Problem.
Maybe because
this,
he's the
Clone.
most skilled?
If you all are so efficient, how come the Empire's scouting soldiers like us? Sounds to me like it's time for a change.
Yes, but he's Force 99.
Enjoy being commander. For now. We'll see how things shake out.
Oh, gosh. This is why they wanted stormtroopers. They wanted assholes, that's why. Clones aren't assholes, somehow. Ugh. Oh, oh no.
It's getting away!
Uh-oh.
Hunter, wake up! Wake up!
Now this is why you bring her.
Echo, Wrecker, Tech, come in! We need help!
Uh-oh. It's just her.
Okay, Omega. You can do this.
Ugh. She's a brave girl. You gotta give her that. Whoop. Oh, good job. Alright, they're just bailing. Ooh, take out the pilot. Damn, Crosshair. Was that Crosshair? I can't tell.
I believe you.
Yeah, he's got a new helmet.
Do any of you have information you'd like to share?
We don't know anything.
Guerrera's fighters are dead. These are civilians. We should bring them in.
Those weren't our orders.
Forget our orders. This is wrong.
Oh,
so
man.
You're not going to comply.
I'm going to detain the prisoners and take them in for questioning.
You want to know why they put me in charge?
To pull the trigger.
It's because I'm willing to do what needs to be done.
Oh, that armor did nothing.
Good soldiers follow orders.
Ugh.
Finish the mission.
It literally is. The stormtroopers need cruelty. Oh. Oh, it doesn't like light. Huh. Oh. Well, I don't know. It doesn't like light shining in its eyes.
I'm coming!
Huh. Well, good job.
I tracked the dragon, like you did.
Nah.
That my blaster?
Don't worry. Didn't have to use it. I got the part.
Good job.
Impressive. The clone commander's new squad has followed through, where his brethren did not.
Further proof that this initiative has potential.
Well, but that's
Clone
because of
trooper
his
program
chip.
is a cost-prohibitive relic of the past, but until the time is right, it will continue to serve a purpose.
With more time and training, our forces will be unlike anything the galaxy has seen.
So the clones will train the
Then I leave this
stormtroopers.
project in your capable hands.
Then it is time to begin the next phase. If your experiment can yield a superior clone, it will secure our relationship with this empire.
Ooh.
Such a contingency cannot be created without a direct source. The clones required will not return willingly.
They are Kaminoan property, and we only need one. Our survival hinges on it.
Oh, is this the Bad Batch's old room? Cleaned up? Yeah, it is.
Okay. Open them. Check it out.
What are we looking at? He made her a room.
It's your own room.
Aww.
I thought this place could feel more like a home.
Oh, Wrecker.
I never had my own room before.
Well, you're part of this squad now, too.
Where did she live, then, if she didn't have a room? Aww. Alrighty. Alrighty, that is episode 3. Good episode. Really good episode, you know? Like, last episode definitely felt like another Clone Wars episode. And okay, I guess I have to explain that to where it makes sense, because the first episode kind of also did, but the first episode felt like a really great episode of the Clone Wars. Last episode felt like a pretty standard one, even though, yeah, I enjoyed it. The whole thing with Cut was really nice. But this one, like, alright, we're back to getting to some really great stuff, you know? Very interesting stuff with Crosshair and the new stormtroopers, you know? Very interesting all around. So we can go ahead and hop into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is Echo and Engineer. So, you know, last episode, I basically, you know, I came to the conclusion that, where a lot of, crews in Star Wars, they will have a droid like R2 or Chopper or so forth, or BB-8. Instead, now on the Bad Batch, they just have Echo instead of a droid. And I was like, oh, okay, so I guess that's how that's Echo's purpose on the team. But I like Echo is also the engineer, basically. And although Tech could help him with engineering if he wasn't too busy doing his own stuff. So I like that very quickly we've established why Echo is important to the team, you know, because that was the thing when, you know, when they first introduced the Bad Batch, they have, you know, each of their specific things, you know, Wrecker's strong, Hunter can track, Tech is, you know, brilliant, and Crosshair is an excellent sniper. So then you bring in Echo, and it's like, okay, well, what is Echo's purpose? So I'm glad that they're pretty much immediately showing us why Echo is on the team, you know? So presumably, if they ever had, like, engineering troubles before, they had to wait for Tech to get around to it, you know? Ooh, that was good. Anyway. Next thing I wrote down is Admiral Rampart. Okay, so this guy sounds like he should be a thing, you know? This guy sounds like he should be a thing, but maybe I just don't know. So, I'm gonna quickly... Oh, goodness. I've gotta retype everything. Okay, hold up. Oh, God. Okay. Sorry, this is normally where I go to IMDb and I pull up the on-screen keyboard so I can type stuff into IMDb, but I had to kind of reset my computer recently, so none of my stuff is ready. None of my stuff is on my computer, really. Or at least they're not... It's not the way I normally have it, so I'll look it up on here. Admiral Rampart. Admiral Rampart. He might just be... Okay, well, the picture here is from the Bad Batch, so he might not be anything, like, super special. Yeah, okay. It looks like it's just stuff from the Bad Batch. War-Mantle, that was the project, alright. Okay, never mind. They made it sound like he was a character we had already seen, like, in a movie or something, but no, he seems to have been created for the Bad Batch, which is okay. But yeah, I can definitely see, like, he's gonna sort of take over our Tarkin role. I was kind of... It would have been nice if we could have just kept Tarkin, you know, as our sort of, you know, driving force for the Stormtrooper initiative. But Tarkin is sort of a character you really do need to use sparingly, and Rebels actually did that really well, where, you know, in Rebels, like, yes, he would come in and talk to, you know, Governor Price or Agent Callus, or eventually he would talk to Grand Admiral Thrawn. But he was always used sparingly, you know? He was always, like... He always had that sort of position, like, you know, even if you didn't know who Tarkin was, like, okay, this is sort of a top dog here in the Empire. Like, this is someone who, you know, is on sort of equal footing with Grand Admiral Thrawn or Darth Vader or something. So I always liked how they did that, how they used Tarkin in Rebels. So it looks like they're going to kind of do that here, where Rampart is going to be the one who's bringing in the Stormtroopers and everything. And occasionally we will see, I guess, like, you know, check-ins by Tarkin, you know, see how things are going. So that's pretty interesting. And, you know, most of my notes pertain to Crosshair's side of the episode. So the whole thing, you know, it's a difficult situation, I feel like we're in with this show, because we've had the Stormtroopers for over 40 years, you know, since 1977 with the original Star Wars movie, and we've all made our jokes in 40 years, you know, even those of us who obviously aren't 40 years old, but we've all made our jokes in that time about the Stormtroopers. Oh, they can't aim, they're not really that efficient and stuff. And then you go back and you see the clones. Even in the prequel movies, like, okay, these clones are actually pretty decent, you know? Like, they are pretty decent, and then once you see Order 66, like, oh my gosh, these clones killed all the Jedi. How is that possible, you know? And then you go watch the Clone Wars, and you think, goodness gracious, these clones are spectacular. And so you look back at the stormtroopers and it's like, why did they switch over to the stormtroopers? And now, all this time later, we're getting this show, The Bad Batch, which is going to show us how the Empire transitioned from clones to stormtroopers. And it's a very difficult situation to be in, I would think. Well, now, granted, it would be for me if I was having to write this. This is Dave Filoni we're talking about. Dave Filoni is brilliant. So, I'm sure he's not having trouble. Or if he is, he's coming up with amazing answers that I couldn't, So, that's the thing is that, you look at this and like, okay, how do we give a legitimate reason for the transition from the clone troopers to the stormtroopers? And they're giving some reasons. It's not airtight yet. It's not like solid, like, yes, this is why, and it makes complete sense. You can see their reasoning as they go. First off, cost. That definitely makes sense. So from what I can tell, because they are paying these stormtroopers, they're basically saying it's cheaper to conscript soldiers and pay them rather than make clones, Because I would imagine the clones weren't really, I imagine the clones didn't get, like, wages or anything. They just served, Or maybe they did, and maybe that's why if you take out the, creating the clone part, then the cost still comes way down, So, it's a whole thing of cost. Definitely makes sense, especially in a time where technically there is no war. Now, yes, Saw Gerrera is starting his, rebel cell. Rebel cells will be popping up eventually, and, 15 years down the line, the Rebel Alliance will be formed, with, the crew of the Ghost and everything that we see in Star Wars Rebels. But right now, technically, there is no war. The army just needs to be peacekeepers. So if you can cut down the cost on that, that does make a lot of sense. So I like that. But the newest interesting thing is that they're going to have the experienced and incredible clone troopers train the stormtroopers. Now that's very interesting. And especially because, it's Crosshair, who is specifically an impressive shot, Like, he is one of the greatest shots probably in the galaxy. So to have him be the one training stormtroopers, you can kind of look at that, from a sort of fourth wall perspective and be like, okay, that's kind of funny, because that's the joke. Stormtroopers can't hit anything. They can't shoot at anything. So to have it be that Crosshair trained them is hilarious, From that perspective, it's kind of hilarious. But you can understand what they're going for. Have the clone troopers, especially Crosshair, because he is brilliant, he is incredible, have them train stormtroopers. But then comes the next thing is the reason to go with stormtroopers, I guess, is for the ruthlessness, because the job needs to get done, And it's a difference between a soldier and a clone trooper versus a stormtrooper. That, I think that's what we need to get. That, honestly, it's like, okay, well, why are we transitioning from the clone troopers to the stormtroopers? I feel like it's almost more like, this is more like the stormtroopers are almost like a different mindset from the clone troopers, Now, granted, clone troopers here, they have abandoned, anything that made them, individuals, any of that from the Clone Wars is gone. None of them are using their names anymore, and they are following orders. But still, there is a specific mindset with stormtroopers, if that makes any sense. Like with Crosshair here, that scene where it's like, that doesn't matter, like, hey, let's just bring them in, we can't kill them, that is wrong, which is exactly what the Bad Batch said. And Crosshair now has that stormtrooper mentality thanks to his, the inhibitor chip, as well as the procedures he's been going through to intensify it. And so now he's saying, good soldiers follow orders. And, follow orders without questions, even the ruthless orders, And that is what is setting the new stormtroopers apart from the clone troopers, So very interesting sort of, being able to see that. And again, you can say what you will about the stormtroopers that we see in A New Hope and Empire and Return of the Jedi and even Rebels and stuff. You can say what you will about those stormtroopers, yes, but you do understand where they're coming from in this, why they would be transitioning. Like, I feel like it's not one reason. I feel like we've all been waiting for one reason. Like, what is the one big reason that they transitioned from the clone troopers to the stormtroopers? And what I feel like this show is doing is actually giving us smaller reasons, like multiple smaller reasons, like, cost, training, loyalty. There was another one, I can't quite remember it, but loyalty through actual loyalty, and not just an inhibitor chip, not just fear or anything like that, but loyalty through loyalty. Like, it's all these smaller reasons that are leading us to the stormtroopers, which honestly, yeah, I've always kind of wondered what is the one big reason. But the show is basically taking a step back and being like, hey, here's multiple reasons. They're not as big as, what you expect, but here's multiple smaller reasons to where if you add them all together, you understand why the stormtroopers came to be, basically. So I definitely think it's all of that. And it's making it very, very compelling, especially seeing it through the eyes of Crosshair, who... Yes, we haven't, to be fair, we haven't known him very long, but still, because he is a clone, we can sort of relate him to the clones that we saw through the entirety of Clone Wars. And so seeing that and seeing the transition through his eyes, even if his eyes are very, are very colored right now, it's still interesting to see that sort of transition through clone trooper eyes, even if he's not a reg. So it's just very, very interesting, very interesting indeed. And we also got at the end, the Kaminoans talking about they need to create superior clones if they want to, if they basically want to stay in business with the Empire. Now, obviously, we know. I don't think this is spoilers to say. I'm assuming anyone watching this has already seen, the original movie. But we know that doesn't end up happening. That the stormtroopers do take over. They're no longer clones. They are just conscripted soldiers. So their whole talk about, okay, we need to make a superior clone, it's very interesting, but we do ultimately know that nothing really is going to come of that. At least not ending the stormtroopers level. But maybe we'll get something, and obviously they said, we need a new source, basically. And it basically sounds like they're basically implying that, their new source is Omega, which is interesting because, they say she is a clone. So if she is still a clone of Jango Fett, do they then clone from the clone? That's the question, basically. So I definitely want to see more of that. And I would imagine that this might lead Crosshair and his new group to track down the Bad Batch and try to get Omega, So we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see. Back on the other side with the actual Bad Batch, I did like all of that. It was a little standard. Like, oh, we crashed on a moon or whatever. This dangerous moon. And it's like, okay, that's very Clone Wars, Rebels type plotline. But I liked everything with with Omega and taking her out on a mission and stuff like that, because it is very dangerous. But again, with seeing in the last episode basically how Hunter has basically assumed a father figure role for Omega, it's very interesting to see. Yes, he is trying to be a father for her, but at the same time he's not perfect, and he does want to try to, he is trusting her, like, all right, I'll take you out with me, but, be careful. So that stuff is really interesting. And I did like the thing with the dragon. I didn't quite understand. So she was flashing the light basically in its eyes and it got mad. But then, so she turned it off and it relaxed, basically. But then she did it again, but she just, I guess she didn't wave it directly in the thing's eyes, but just sort of waved it around through the flashlight, and then it was attracted to the energy, I guess that was it. It was a little strange, and it made me question, like, okay, well, wait, if the capacitor, if it's drawn to energy, then shouldn't it be drawn to the capacitor because it would give off more of an electrical charge than her flashlight? But maybe because the capacitor was off and her flashlight was on, that's why it was attracted, because it was, I guess because the light was generating, that energy at the time. I don't know, it was slightly confusing, but I did like it. I liked her figuring things out and then, throwing it and getting the thing, and doing that all on her own, So that is really good. I really did like that. And then I did like at the end, Wrecker basically creating a room for her, which, I mean, the other four don't get a room on that ship. There isn't a room on that ship for any of them. I assume they just have some bunks, but I like that he actually made her own room. Now, it was also interesting, though, when she said, like, oh, I've never had my own room before, and it's like, well, wait, did the Kaminoans not give you your own room? It's like, well, where did you sleep then? So that was interesting, because, I mean, even they had a room. They had to share a room between the 5 of them, but they had rooms, and the clones had bunks, I guess. But still, like, it just kind of makes you question. It's like, well, wait, where did she sleep on Kamino, But yeah, still a good, nice moment between them. So yeah. But that's basically it. Again, another really great episode, and I'm looking forward to the next one, which I imagine by the time I got this uploaded onto YouTube, the next video is already out. The next episode is already out on Disney+, so yeah. Here's hoping that I can get this out any faster than I have the last 3 episodes, but I don't know, something's probably going to come up. Of course, if you're watching this, after the episodes come out, then it doesn't matter. You're just going through the playlist and you don't care. Yeah. Oh well. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Bad Batch reactions, there should be a playlist like down here somewhere. There's also a playlist for my Clone Wars Season 7 reactions if you haven't checked those out. There's a subscribe button and a Patreon button if you haven't checked those out. And there's social media and stuff in the description. And yeah, see you later.